Go into any hardware store and you will literally find hundreds of different types of caulking and sealants. Now they're all quite different, but they have one thing in common, and that's that they can get incredibly expensive. What's worse is when you just need a small amount of sealant for a job, what do you do with what's left in the tube? So in this video, I'm going to change all that by sharing the 2 best ways to preserve sealants that will not cost you a penny. Now that might seem like a shock because there are suddenly a ton of products on the market that claim they make saving this stuff so easy. I'm also going to show you why they don't work and why so many other methods are a total waste of time. In a recent survey I conducted, over 99% of the respondents had no idea of these 2 methods, but I want to start with the methods that do not work. The first is using something like duct tape. Now you can put this over the tip on your caulking tube, but unfortunately it will dry out over time and it will not preserve it. The same goes for painter's tape. Now this stuff of course is wonderful for trim jobs, but it does not protect the sealant inside because it does allow a small amount of air to pass. Now we enter the world of true nonsense. They all fail for the same reason: they are not truly airtight. Now these things are even more ridiculous. They look like they should be giving them out at a clinic. You can put them over the tube, they tear, and unfortunately they're made of latex. Think of a balloon. Leave that thing around for a while, and what does it do? Of course, it will deflate because air is slowly passing through. Now for the 2 best ways to preserve your sealant. The first is to use any type of a glass, a plastic solo cup, and simply insert your used sealant tube right into the water. It is creating a completely airtight seal. This eliminates the need to put anything inside that neck because the air can never get in to begin with. The product won't harden. This method will preserve the sealant for up to about 30 to 45 days. It could be used for longer periods, but the water would likely evaporate, which would break the seal. This method is perfect for when you're doing something like painting a room or working on a project where you just need to keep that sealant good for a shorter amount of time. And now for the single best way to preserve any sealant inside a tube. Now I told you painter's tape is no good because it does allow some air over time to pass through it. And while duct tape is a better choice and it will preserve sealant for a little while, it still is not the right choice. The best choice is to use the only tape that almost every DIYer has on hand that's both waterproof, airtight, and designed to last. That is to use electric tape. And this is perfect for preserving caulking because it does not allow any air to pass through. Now you'd think that using this would be super easy, but unfortunately the few people who even know this trick do it completely wrong. You don't wrap the tape around the tip. If you do that, by the time you get to the top, even if you squeeze it, you're almost guaranteed to have a small hole, and of course air will pass through, ruining the trick. Instead, start by breaking off just a small piece of tape. Then you will go the long way across the tip of the tube, folding it over, but don't pull the tape tight. Leave about a ½ inch or so on the top of the tip. This will create a small tab. You'll want to, of course, squeeze it to make sure that it's totally sealed. But now when you go back to this tube in the future, simply pull on the tab as hard as you can. The tape will stretch and it will eventually snap right off the tube, revealing the fresh sealant inside. I've been sealing tubes this way for decades. I learned this trick, in fact, from an electrician who used to have to constantly use products like Firestop and other sealants, and he just found this to be a convenient way, not realizing what a great trick he had discovered. I showed you guys all those other methods because many of you are going to tell me that you've used another product and it was successful. Now, I don't doubt that to be true, but I have found that long term, those products simply fail because they allow air to pass through them. I hope this video was helpful and maybe showed you a trick that you might just be able to use for the rest of your DIY career. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the Silver Symbol channel for more videos coming up.